Hello everyone, my name is Fracrox. First of all, I want to thank you all for the great support for my last video and all your love and interest in getting to know about my art, my photography, my music, and a bit about me. So I'm gonna make a couple of videos for you to get to know a little bit what's behind everything. And after listening and reading all your comments, one of the topics that popped the most was photography. So let's talk about photography today. I'm gonna give you 5 simple steps to get started into photography. Just to clarify, there are not magic tricks or special shortcuts to become a great photographer. This is gonna be all my tips that I went through together with my camera and my whole experience behind it. Number 1 is a vision. A vision is very important because every photographer has a vision or ideas of what they want to photograph, meaning portraits photography, landscape photography, street photography, specialize in black and white, film photography. There's a bunch of things you can get into photography, so you must feel the call. That's what I call it, because I remember before in my country I could not afford a camera, but I was being curious about the way people were being portrayed and captured. But I have been always inclined into portrait photography. To people, I wanted to know how to get the best of them and to capture those moments. But back then it was a bit more difficult to start into the photography world because I didn't have any friends or photographers around, so I just focused on music, my main passion and still my passion. But if you can relate or get together with any photographer, just try it out, just hang out, find photography that you really love and just try to find your way, your vision. When you start like feeling comfortable with something, you say like, okay, I really love photographing landscape or birds or animals or whatever you want. When you start feeling this excitement of what you're capturing is like real and what you have in your head, then I will say jump into photography and get your camera. And this brings us to number 2, is getting started. Before getting started, you have to think, do I have a camera? Do I want to invest in a camera? What type of camera do I need? Even a phone would be great to start your vision and your ideas. I'm a massive supporter with phone photography. You may have seen that on my social media channels, and I really push everybody to try at least with their phones to capture what they have in mind. And if you feel you need more quality and a bigger investment, you can jump into a DSLR or film if you're loving for film. It's up to you. My first camera was the Nikon D500. It was an amazing camera. I also got a 1.8 50mm lens, is an amazing portrait lens if you want to start super cheap. So look into it, find your way, and just get your gear up. Remember, gear is not the most important part of photography. If you really want a professional camera, invest in a DSLR, but you can always start from the bottom and then feel if you're comfortable enough with your photography that you want to upgrade. So after you find your camera, you finally got your DSLR, your phone, or any film camera, whatever the one you get, you feel comfortable with your vision and ideas. That brings us to the 3rd step, find inspiration. Always I recommend everybody to find a photographer or any type of photos that give you a lot of inspiration, like you can start your path with, because you can take it as a guidance. It's okay if you feel comfortable enough to copy a photographer at the beginning, because nobody is born with an idea. I wish it was so easy. But with time, you need to start to develop your own style. Creating your own style is not only about the photo you're taking, it's also the way you edit it and the way you work with the camera, the model, etc. So no worries, everybody starting somewhere that you have no idea how to do stuff, but nowadays there's plenty of stuff to follow, like YouTube videos or other photographers. I always recommend you to hang out if you can, or always feel free to contact any photographer and ask them about the process. I'm passionate about it. I'm super happy to share, and I always tell my models or people who want to start into photography like how I work and my equipment, which is not a lot. But I recommend you to start developing your own, but it's a slow process. But find an inspiration, find somebody who will get you started to it. Number 5, gear. I know a lot of people always worry about the gear. What should I get? Which camera is best? Which lens is the best? But fear not. So I will show you my gear so you can see a little bit what's behind it. I'm making this video with my main camera, the digital one. It's a Nikon D610. It's an amazing full-frame camera. I only have a 35mm lens 1.8 and a 50mm 1.4. Those are my babies, the lens I take everywhere. Recently I've been introduced to film photography and wow, I'm in love with it. I'm gonna show you a little bit of my go-to film cameras for me in my style of photography. My first one is this beauty that you can see here. Is a Leica M7, as you can see, is a rangefinder camera. Let me focus a little bit. So you can actually see how beautiful it is. You may recognize this camera because a lot of people nowadays is using it back, and it's amazing for street and portrait photography. This camera is displaying a beautiful leather cover by Kenji Leather. Massive thanks to them. And my next one is a medium frame camera. This is a beast, literally. You can see the size of this camera. It's a beautiful camera. The pictures it takes are amazing. The viewfinder is gorgeous. What not to say to this camera? It's big. It's not very convenient for traveling. It's not very useful if you want to take them everywhere. But please, if you can ever try film medium format photography, get this baby right here. And before we finish with the video, I want to add a bonus tip. It's something very important, is to really capture what you love and what you have in your head and your passion. Just go for it. Don't really shoot for people. Don't really do what people think you will have to shoot or what's gonna bring the best attention. Nowadays, photography is really like a nice excuse for bad practice in general regarding photographers, models, so it's creating a really shady world under it, and you have to be really careful, especially if you want to get into portrait photography, interacting with people, capturing in a really natural way. So with time you will see how much you have improved. I literally still laughing at my first photos. It's amazing the way capturing, the editing changes. It's so funny, the evolution part of it, and you will love it, I'm sure of that. Needless to say, thanks so much for your support, guys. I hope you like these videos. Hope it's been a bit helpful. If you're doubting to start into photography, feel free to comment if you have any further question, or follow me on social media, and you can always contact me. And I'm thinking of making a video about my gear and more depth, so if you are doubting about what to get or what should you use, I will explain a little bit how I used. My main goal in photography is being as simple as possible. So is that what you think you need? Then stay tuned, and I will see you next time.